Ciao ragazzi, CP here with Juve Power Talk. I've got two fantastic guests for you to meet if you don't know them. I've got Rob V to my opposite side, and I've got Antonio. Rob's coming from London. Antonio is in Scotland. And if you've been a viewer of my channel, you will have known Antonio from the start. And but Rob is new, so I'm going to let him introduce himself. You don't have to give a whole story about your Juventus kind of credentials or anything like that, but you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just north of London. I'm in Hertfordshire, but I am originally from London. I've been a Juve fan since, I'm born in 84. So as long as I can remember, maybe 1990, I saw my first Juve match. So about that length of time. So I won't bore everybody with the details, but quite a long time.
That's great, man. I mean, I've spoken to Antonio before about kind of a season recap type thing, and but I haven't got your perspective on things. How did you feel about the season overall? Were you disappointed? Your general thoughts. I know it's a big question to ask you to start off.
Yeah, so absolutely, up until the last minute or the last few seconds of that Napoli match, the one we weren't even playing, Napoli against Verona, it was depressing. But funnily enough, with that header from Petagna hitting the stanchion and not going in, it rose the pleasure at the end of the season to something that was palatable, and actually it was quite positive at the end. It was the end of the cycle, which is sad, but we won two trophies, albeit one was the Super Cup, and I know it's only one match, but we won two trophies, qualified for the Champions League, and now the pressure to continuously win has been lifted, and now it's a new cycle, so it's exciting. So that's where I am with it.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. It certainly ended up a little bit more exciting than I'd expected. It was quite dull, and coming into the last few months of the season, but I feel they kind of picked up performances, and why did they pick up their performance? I don't know. Some of the players, I've questioned whether they were trying to make sure they were playing themselves into international duty for the European Championships. Rabiot, he started playing well with the last couple of games. Who else? I don't know, like a good few of them. Kulusevski started playing well as well once he got settled into a position. So, I mean, onto the news of the day, really. I did a video earlier on. I was talking about Donnarumma. We found out last night that Mino Raiola has been doing the deal with PSG, 12 million contract over 5 years. It's all but done. He just has to sign on the dotted line, but there's a verbal agreement. What are your thoughts? Like, were you super hopeful he would come, or Antonio, I'll get you
in. Just before I start, I want to thank you for having me back on, Colin. Nice to finally meet Rob as well. Seen him on previous podcasts, and I'm excited to share a chat with him. It's also nice to have someone on the same age for a change. So finally, we've got a hat trick of oldies on here.
I think we're all the same age, actually. I was born in '84 as well.
There we go.
I was 83.
Over 90 years. Over 100 years, actually.
I was 83, but we'll forget about that in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, as I say, I think it was. Sorry, Colin, what was your question? Sorry. Got excited.
Just about Donnarumma. I mean, were you surprised?
Surprised, no, because unfortunately, when Mino Raiola is in the equation, there's never. You're obviously there's always a surprise around the corner. I'm disappointed because obviously we didn't seize an opportunity to have a generational goalkeeper, having obviously a good solid Italian base going forward to have someone to take over Buffon, but I'm not overly disappointed because I don't have a problem with Szczesny. I think man-to-man, they're very similar goalkeepers. I don't necessarily believe that Donnarumma is this massive upgrade. As I say, the only issue
Yeah.
I've got with Tech is his communication, as I say. But apart from that, I'm not overly disappointed. That's probably about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, to be honest, I think Tech is a solid goalkeeper. I agree with you there. I just, I feel he's made maybe one or two too many fuck ups this year. He's had a few in my, from my perspective, things on near posts, shots that have gone through him that shouldn't have gone through him, kind of a thing. But so I mean, I saw news then Romeo Agresti was reporting that Mattia Perin and Pinsolio could be on the way out. They could be looking to make some money off of them. So that would be two goalkeepers, one guy on loan and one, third goalkeeper. And obviously Buffon is gone. So they're going to have to bring in or promote or both.
Yeah.
Anyway, even if Chesney. So for me, it's kind of like the Keylor Navas situation with PSG. I didn't really think that Donnarumma coming meant that Tech had to go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
in that situation where Buffon is going, they're going to shift on Perin, and obviously now we know that Pinsolio, they're going to try and shift him on as well, make some money. Well, I'm not sure how much money they'll make for him, but I mean, what would you say? He's a good goalkeeper, but it's not the end of the world. 100%, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
And the point is made by a few people then as well that it's not the area of the field that we need to strengthen kind of most urgently.
It was a massive salary as well involved. I don't think. I think it was 10 million euro. I think PSG signed them on. I could be wrong, but
I think it's 12.
Is it as much as that? Well, there you go. As I say, we could be using that money.
Bonuses.
We could be using that money in elsewhere and strengthening positions we need to strengthen.
Yeah, you could have two good up and coming goalkeepers paid for 10 million. Do you know what I mean? Good keepers now, not just guys who've come out of the under 23. Because Tech's on 7 million. Gijo, if you include the bonuses, and I'm sure he'll get his bonus. I think it goes to 12 million a season, so 60 million over 5 years.
Crazy.
And it's big money. I think that prices Juve out of the market.
Absolutely. Yeah,
massively. I just there's also, I mean, from as we've said, he would have been an opportunity to have an Italian generational goalkeeper. My problem is that it's a Raiola client, and we have the licked already.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a good point.
And I worry, and whether it's Donnarumma going to PSG this season or in 3 years' time after we've had him for 3 years, it's every so often Raiola comes knocking for his money. He always does well for his clients and tries to maximise his wealth and theirs. And I just feel that would we have been able to keep him for 10, 12, 13 years? And I'm not convinced we would have done.
Exactly.
So if you want to take him for free and then maximise a bit of capital gains in the future, yes, but it may not be somebody that you can hang your hat on for years to come. And I'll take Colin, you were saying about Tech, he was disappointing this season. It was certainly his weakest at Juve. And certainly from a communication perspective, Buffon outperformed him. You could hear him on the touchline. The confidence in defence was up there with Buffon. So, but I think he has enough credit in the bank, thankfully, because we haven't got the money to address all the areas in the team, to be given another chance this year. And if we can bring in another goalkeeper like Aldero or someone like that from Sampdoria, that would be, home. I think he fulfills a homegrown quota as well. Yeah, that would be perfect signing with Perin looking to be sold as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I agree with you there. That's the name that was mentioned. I think this was months ago, and I said it at the time. I like this guy. He's performed well against us, and he's obviously he's been at Juve before, like, you know. So, but I think he could be a good name for the future as well. And it's about, you know, if you're rebuilding and you've got this much work to do on the squad, it's about getting guys before they become super expensive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before they get the agent up, if you know what I mean, before they end up with Raiola. But and I agree with you there. It's hard to see anyone staying in one spot with Raiola as the agent. So yeah, what else do we have? Sorry.
No, I was just going to say it's going to be De Ligt next. He will come knocking one day. Yeah,
well, that's interesting thing. Yeah.
I mean, it could, if we had finished, if Petagna's header goes in, he would have come knocking this summer. Yeah, I'm pretty sure of it. I think thankfully he's going to have his lips wet by Donnarumma's transfer, but next summer I think he will come knocking for De Ligt.
Yeah, De Ligt and Donnarumma's the golden boys for Mino Raiola.
Yeah,
there he's going to be his new money ponies or cash ponies, as I say. De Ligt, I'm pretty sure, if my memory serves me correct, I'm pretty sure after the second year of De Ligt's contract, there's a buyout clause which is about 150 million thereabouts.
Yeah.
So next year could be the last time we see De Ligt as a Juventus player, whether we like to accept it or not. Sometimes people underestimate the work that Pavel Nedved does within the club. I strongly believe that Pavel Nedved's been kept in the club with his relationship with Raiola, because they've got a fantastic relationship. Because Raiola, as Rob said, he put it perfectly. With Raiola, you're always going to have that issue where you're not going to see a player maybe progress 2 or 3 years into the contract.
Yeah.
Yep.
What would I say? Do you think someone's going to pay 150 million for him though?
Absolutely.
You think? Yeah. Okay.
100%.
I know we rate him, you know, but does everybody else?
Yeah, I personally think that's a steal for them. I mean, the kid's, in my opinion, he's the best centre back in the world. I mean, name a centre back that's better than him. He's got age on his side. He's an absolute leader. Nothing seems to faze the guy. I mean, the list could go on and on, as I say. So to get potential, I'm not sure the actual figure, but I'm pretty sure it's around the €100 million mark, as I say. So it's an absolute steal if MD's prepared to pay the price.
Yeah, for sure.
Ciao for Maxi Mosakaksi. He's coming in. He says, unfortunately, Raiola makes his money. He moves players around every couple of years. Yeah, that's kind of what we were saying. He's also saying Audero. This is a good point. Audero will never leave Sampdoria to be the second at Juve. I don't know. Maybe if it's a good point. It's a good point. I still like him. I like him. You know. What else was I going to say? So, I mean, we had bad news today with Kulusevski. Kulusevski testing positive for COVID-19. Just, 6 days before his first game at the European Championships against Spain. They said he's got a low viral load, so they're not expecting him to be too contagious. And also... they expect him to recover. He hasn't been sent home, which is interesting. So I mean, I really it would be terrible if he misses the whole European Championships. Yeah. What do you guys think?
Carry on, Rob, when you go.
Yeah, no, obviously it's disappointing for him. They haven't been sent home. I think it will just be a period of isolation. And if he recovers, I don't see why he should miss the whole tournament. It's just likely, that I'm just trying to think of they've got in their group. It's Spain. Off the top of my head, I've just lost it. But it's once he gets, he'll miss that game for sure. If we can at least see him towards the latter end of the group stage, and just for his confidence, because he was just starting to pick it up again. I think that disappointingly for him, it with all the with Pirlo coming in and trying to establish his philosophy and his formation, he was moved from pillar to post, and I don't think that there was. And I'm not putting the blame on anyone for that. I mean, that happens in football. The manager's got to try and find solutions for the player he's never worked with before. But I don't think it was particularly good for Kulusevski, and with the price tag that he came in, I think that combined with the pressure, but there's undoubtedly a lot of talent there. and it's a shame he'll miss the first game, but I'm sure we'll see him blossom towards the end of the tournament if they can progress.
Yeah, so they play Slovakia on Friday the 18th. So the first game is Spain on Monday the 14th. So they're hoping to have him back. He can't be in too bad of a shape if the managers come out and said that they're hoping to have him back. That's my thing as well. I was talking about that earlier on. Like, he's been moved around, but he had a decent finish to the season, and at times when it's been right for him, he's been borderline kind of unstoppable. He's had a few excellent finishes, and you hope he gets a chance to really play in the same role, gain confidence, and just become more powerful. Do you know what I mean? Because he just needs that consistency, I think. But I like him. I really like him as a player. What else would I say? What other news did we get today? I mean, the one topic, I'm going to bring it up now, actually. The one topic that I wanted to cover today was, one of the big questions around Ronaldo. Do you guys think Ronaldo is going to leave, or do you think he's going to stay, based on all the gossip and the information, the comments made by his partner Georgina, the statement he made on Instagram, all of the talk? I mean, what do you guys think?
Tony, go first.
Thanks, Rob. Sorry, just to touch on the Kulusevski thing just before I answer. I think Rob was spot on. With the guys, it's a confidence issue with Kulusevski. I think he's finished the season as one of the best players in the team, to be honest with you. And I was hoping he would have a good solid Euros under his belt, because I truly believe he's still got a lot of potential. He could be one of our key players under a better manager, a more experienced manager tactically, who can maybe understand his natural role. So I hope he gets back healthy and he gets back out and shows what he can do, as I say. But in terms of Ronaldo, it's hard. It's so hard to answer, because no one knows what's getting said and what's on his mind. I think we all need to accept it. When you sign a player like Ronaldo or potentially Messi, they decide and they pick and choose where they go. It's just one of those things. You need to accept it. So I think it will come down to lifestyle more than money. I hear a lot of Manchester United involved. I truly believe he won't come back to England just solely because he's already done it, and his family might not want to see him swap the sunshine for Manchester, with all due respect to say. But I think there's more of a chance that he goes to Real Madrid or PSG. They're the two sides that I think that he could go to. Do I think he's already gone? Hand on my heart, I would say he's already played his last game of Juventus.
Yeah. Like, is that a good thing for you? I think there's positives and negatives. I mean, the money aspect of it. What do you think about that, Rob?
We signed Ronaldo, and I try to get away from we signed him to win the Champions League narrative. We won him for those big nights at the stadium with the lights on, stadium packed, the whole experience. They pumped the ticket prices up. It was all the package. Yeah, that's gone with COVID, obviously, and it's no one's fault. It's just one of those things that perhaps the cycle has to be reconsidered, and we have to go again. And I believe that Ronaldo, I don't think there's any bad feeling. I think he's of the same opinion. Yeah, he's won what he came here to win. He didn't win the Champions League, but I think that was a pipe dream anyway. I don't think he signed for Juve thinking I'm going to win them the Champions League. I don't think he did that. He's not a silly guy. He knew that there was going to be that to win the Champions League takes luck, and it takes a lot of factors. So now that we've come to the point where we're starting a new cycle, we have got to change so much in terms of replacing some of the older players, replacing players that haven't been replaced. It may just be easier for everyone, him involved, to have a clean break. And that's what 30 million wages we're saving plus bonuses. It's also we're likely to get the last year of his contract covered by whoever signs him as well. Where is there a market? I agree. Manchester United I don't see it. Yeah. I'm not too sure he would. I mean, they've already got Cavani's already been confirmed for next season. They've got Rashford, Martial, Greenwood. I can't see where he's fitting in. So I doubt it. PSG, but then they've got Mbappe, they've got Neymar, still got Icardi. I know that. Were you going to mention the possibility of the swap with Icardi there?
Yes, I was. Yeah. I think that's a strong point. I actually mentioned it yesterday. Sorry, on Sunday on another podcast. I think there's a strong possibility he could be coming this year. I mean, if you look at previous years, Icardi's names always came up. It's always came up when Juventus have been mentioned. And let's not forget, Maxi Allegri's role now, we believe is going to be more of an Alex Ferguson style role. And Allegri's always liked Icardi. I think, am I against it? Probably, because he comes with a lot of baggage, but the guy's a killer. If you put him in the right system with the right supply, he'll score you 20, 25 goals a season. You need to obviously consider the fact that if Ronaldo goes, you need to recoup the goals elsewhere, you know. So, yeah, I think that could be one of the names, Rob.
Yeah.
Just coming in here now, Steve is saying it's impossible to answer the Ronaldo question. It's so hard to know where he'll end up. I'd say PSG if he's going anywhere because they can pay the wages. Yeah, just one point about PSG. They've been strongly linked with Messi's situation. If Messi decides to leave, apparently there's a bid at Man City and there's a bid at PSG already. That's what's been talked about in the Spanish papers, but who knows what could happen. For Maxi's coming in about Ronaldo, I think Ronaldo will stay. Who can give him that amount of money at 37 years of age in Italy? We're talking about a swap with Pogba. I don't think that United are so stupid to swap a 28-year-old with a 37-year-old for the same. I think he means like for the same money, direct swap. That's a good point.
Yeah, it depends on the players. However, I think Pogba, if he can get a chance to leave and go to Juventus, he'll push the move. And who's his agent? Just remind me again.
Well, exactly. Yeah. So absolutely,
he'll make it happen, as I say.
Yeah, Pierre Gaglione is Man City have had a mega team for ages now and can't win it. He's talking about the idea that Ronaldo had to win the Champions League with Juve. I agree. I never thought of it like that. Certain journalists were kind of putting that out there for quite a while on the other side of the water, and I just tuned out from that BS. As you said, it's you need luck on your side. You need everything else. It isn't about one player, and you need a great manager as well. You need a manager who's like a few tricks up his sleeve. We kind of haven't had that, so we haven't had any of those things, and we have a squad that's about to be overhauled. Fingers crossed. Mm-hmm. So, on to Icardi, Gaglione is saying Icardi to Ronaldo swap. Oh God. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Icardi. I don't want Icardi. I'd rather have Vlahovic than Icardi. That's just. But I see your point. He will score 25 goals. I know he will score 25 goals.
The difference with Vlahovic with Fiorentina, they would want 40, 50 million.
Exactly.
And you were just saying with Ronaldo, and Icardi would be it'd be one of those. I know he's not there anymore, but one of those Paratici type deals where it would be we pay an inflated amount for Icardi and they'll play the book value for Ronaldo and everyone's happy. Probably more doable.
I think as well, watch out for. I brought up a point. It wasn't on a podcast. It was actually with a group of friends who we share a Juventus chat privately. I brought up a point with Real Madrid. Real Madrid are opening up the Bernabeu, who's just been under massive refurbishment for approximately €500 million. So to generate, see, there was no surprise when Perez came out and said, obviously, the Super League. If that didn't materialise, Real Madrid could be in serious issues, much like most of the clubs who had obviously signed up for the Super League. I think next year, to put bums in seats and to convince most of the time the Real Madrid fans, they're very hostile even when they're winning. They almost need it invited into the stadium, so they need that marquee signing. I think it's either one of Mbappe or Ronaldo. So I think that if one of those happens, there'll be a chain reaction around those three sides. Because, as I said, I don't see Ronaldo coming over to the UK because he's already been and done it. It goes against everything that he's about. He's chasing records all the time. So I only see going back to Real Madrid for maybe one last dance, or doing it with PSG, who seem to be creating their own real life FIFA team at the moment. It's insane, you know. That's the kind of theory I've got.
Well, they need a big squad to wrestle the title from Lille, don't they? So they need all the players they can, you know.
Well, do you know, Rob? That's actually one. If Colin would allow me, I was wanting to ask your thoughts on the Super League, because Colin and I have discussed this, and I was all for it. I say, but I've seen so much criticism today and I've been one of them. Donnarumma going to PSG, and it must be nice to have a goalkeeper who's 21 getting 12 million a season, sitting on a bench, and they're signing all these players. There's talk of Hakimi, there's talk of Theo Hernandez, there's so many players coming in. So what I was going to ask you, why are people so against the Super League when Real Madrid and Manchester City and Paris Saint-Germain, they just seem to do what they want. The rules don't apply to them. So were you against it, or were you all for it?
I was for it ultimately, and the reason was that if we want to come for it from a footballing purist's perspective,
yes,
that ended a long time ago. A long time ago. Let's not pretend
exactly
that it isn't. There's some aspects of the Super League that they could have been far better communicated.
Of course,
I think it was poorly handled, but I think the concept was spot on, and I think they should have done a little bit more fan engagement with the structure of it.
Yes.
But to romanticise about football and it being a pyramid, which is a fluid pyramid, it stopped being a fluid pyramid a long time ago.
Yes, of course it does.
Look at the Premier League, and more power to them. They did fantastic work rejuvenating English football in the 90s and working with Sky to bring in all of those revenues. You know, and that has just blown everybody away. Yes. Absolutely, just blown us away. Italian football has been blown, a decade behind because they could not keep up with it.
Yeah.
So, and then you've got Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester City, who, for whatever sanctions are ever threatened against them, or for what, they always seem to have this magic money that comes out this get out of jail free card. Yeah. And if we can bring in the Super League, which takes away some of the power from UEFA as well, because I think they're culpable, and I think that they handled their defence of it poorly, and in a very amateurish way as well. Then I'm all for it. I just think they need to go back to the drawing board and just rethink a few things.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and it's interesting to see obviously your side of things as well. Obviously, because I value it, as I say, but. Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from. I really do. I said to Colin a few weeks ago that the Super League already
exists. We've been chatting about this for a while.
It's called the Premier League. That is the modern Super League, because the money that's involved in the Premiership, well, I won't go down a rabbit hole because we all know the figures. I strongly believe that Sky were responsible for those teams backing out. I think there's been something done behind the scenes, because they were all for it, and then after 24 hours, everything was kind of down the drain, as I say. So, yeah,
of course. Sure. Gary Neville, working for Sky, was out within a couple of hours of the thing getting announced, doing videos going super viral online. 100%.
He's using that for his own gain. That's a different story altogether.
I mean,
he's using that for his own gain, and he can do what he wants to say. But no, it's interesting to hear what Rob said, because I just, it's a shame that it didn't materialise and we didn't wrestle some of the power away from
They didn't back out because of the fans. I mean, obviously, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but they didn't back out because of the fans. The English teams
go down it, Rob.
Their fans were going to react. They would have known. they wouldn't know.
And that's the thing, and that's the annoying thing, because I've got friends here who are Celtic and Rangers fans, and they were saying, "Oh, Juventus at it again, this, that, and the other." I says, "Wait, hold on a minute." I says, "In Spain and Italy, they're just as passionate as anybody else, and there wasn't one single protest, not one single protest. There was the odd banner here and there, but there wasn't mass protests in the street like there was in the UK, because they're trying to take care of what they've got here, which fair enough, as I say, but as Rob's, if we don't control this and let Manchester City and PSG do what the hell they want, eventually these clubs will say, "Oh, well, hold on a minute, but that ship may already be sailed," you know. So it's just, I just think it should have been, it should have been considered, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I think the PR disaster that it was, it's probably going to take a couple of years for that to die down. How many years, I don't know. But like, I mean, there is a battle on at the moment. You know, I covered it in the video today. Guido Vachago, the guy from Tudor Sport, he's covering it in a lot of detail. He's what's he saying? So, I mean, the disciplinary committee UEFA, they're gonna produce a ban. Now, the latest update was that a court in Switzerland, the Swiss Court of Justice, had sent a memo to UEFA saying that you can't, you know, based on the ruling that the Spanish court had provided. Now, the Spanish court was a commercial court that basically looked at contracts and rules and whatever that the clubs sign up to, and said, no, there's no issue with you starting up a league. You know, you should be okay. So the Swiss Court of Justice has told UEFA that you can't, you can't sanction the clubs. But realistically, in real terms, Guido is saying they will sanction them. It's just they'll be liable to pay damages afterwards. It's not a case of you absolutely can't do it. It's just, you know, if they sue you, you'll be liable for damages. And apparently, when they bring out the sanctions, it's going to be appealed to the Tribunal of Arbitration of Sport, which is again in Switzerland. Everything seems to happen in Switzerland, and they're going to suspend whatever sentence comes their way, be it a 1 or 2 year sentence, and then it's going to be battled. The battle is on at that point. So he's saying if it works out in Juventus' favour, UEFA could end up having to shell out a lot of money just to cover the costs, you know. But who knows what way it's going to go. Have you guys been following it?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Did you guys see that was this? I can't remember what social media platform there was. And Colin, I'm going to put you on the spot here because you've got a lovely thick Irish accent, and I'm not going to make a fool of myself. But there was a picture of Conor McGregor, and I don't know what opponent it was, and they put the UEFA symbol on the opponent's head, and Conor McGregor had the Juventus, Barcelona, and Real Madrid badge, and underneath it said "You'll do nothing." But when he says it, it's so
you'll do nothing.
Exactly, that's it. And I think they will do nothing because the UEFA are picking a war with three superpowers, and they seem Juve, Barca, and Real Madrid seem pretty adamant that they're right. So if they want to bring a war on, bring it on. I think it'll fall flat in the face. And I'm again, what I was obviously back to what the fans were saying. What Rob was saying about the fans protesting. I'm actually quite proud of my club that they're actually standing by and they didn't back out, and they're actually challenging UEFA, because if they get their way, this will benefit so many other sides. Now I know people can't see that, but if the UEFA just can proceed with what they're doing just now, the Champions League formats at the moment is a disgrace. The prize money to win the Champions League again is a disgrace. You can win promotion into Premier League and earn more money than winning the Champions League. So it needs to be addressed, as I say. But yeah, I follow it every day.
When you think about it like this, right? So PSG and Man City, look at the money that they've spent on their squads and continue to spend on their squad. So the ultimate goal is to win the Champions League, and what do you get? 80 to 100 million plus sponsorship, whatever. They spend 80 to 100 million on a left back. Do you know what I mean? It's nothing. The sums don't add up.
No.
There is no effective incentive for an investor to come in and say, all right, I'm going to take a mid-table team in England, I'm going to pump the money into them, get them into the Champions League, and then, down the line it's going to pay off. There is no, the incentive is in England just to, as Antonio said, it can be, get relegated and then come back up and get the money, get the parachute fund. But, so there is no, and that's part of the reason why the status quo is the way it is in European football, why you have Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, and a couple other clubs that dominate, because they're doing it for the prestige, and their money machine, their marketing machine has, everything around the prize money is so big that it's not just UEFA that's paying them, basically, but a smaller club, it's not. Yeah. So I don't see the argument for it. I'm paying close attention. The main thing for me is this Ceferin guy. I can't stand the guy.
Yeah,
he really wrecks my head.
Yeah.
No, he's an absolute fister, isn't he? And just the absolute unprofessionalism that he's, he seems like it's like being at school, and I can't look Agnelli in the face. I'd never speak to him again. I mean, you're getting paid X amount of money to head up, UEFA, which has had its problems in the past, as corrupt as anything. Who are you to call a snake? Unbelievable, just unbelievable. And he's probably misrepresenting what he was told anyway. So just try to save face.
Yeah, I mean, I've said for ages now. Living in Scotland, obviously the coefficiency ranking for Scotland isn't obviously the best. So Celtic and Rangers do require to play so many different playoffs to even get into the group stage. Now we're all of similar age. Obviously Rob is the same age as myself, and you as well, Colin. So we remember the European Cup what it used to be like, and that's why the UEFA Cup, or now Europa League, had more significance to win it, because I always remember my dad saying it was harder to win the UEFA Cup than win the Champions League. Because
of course it was.
Because the UEFA Cup used to consist of your second, third and fourth teams that are now in the Champions League. So instead of looking at the reformation of those tournaments, what did they go and do, UEFA? Make another tournament that's even more insignificant. Because the Conference Cup, whatever it's called, I don't even want to know.
Yeah, UEFA Conference League, absolute joke.
So the players are playing more games. They don't even take it seriously. Rob touched on a great point with Ronaldo. If the stadium's been full, you get the full package, a full experience. The stadiums in the Europa League, when obviously before COVID hit, there was nobody went to the games. Can you only imagine what it'll be like in this new competition? So let them carry on, as I say. So everybody that's against this Super League, then there you go. This is the kind of competitions you need to get used to.
Yeah, absolute. How are they going to sell it? I mean, who's going to want to watch it?
Well, unless you could coincide it with your stag do, and you're going to go to a game in Eastern Europe and you want to go out on the piss and hit some strippers afterwards. I mean, I've got no reason. I'd have no reason to sort of head out to something.
And they don't mind you streaking all over the pitch or something like that. Absolutely, for the crack and getting yourself on TV.
I think the games are they still played on a Thursday night? I mean, I don't really know much about it, and I mean, it's ludicrous. It really is. I'd say, but listen, this is UEFA. As Rob said, they'll do what they want unless they're challenged.
He's done a few things now as well that have got like a few little sly things. There was one, the Super Cup. Have you noticed that's going to be played in Belfast next year? That was announced.
Right. So
that was moved. I'm sure of it. That was moved. Dublin was dropped as a venue for Euro 2020, and it was only done because the Irish government, in their rational kind of mind, which is not something I normally describe the Irish government as having, they said, no, Mr. Ceferin, we can't 100% guarantee that fans will be able to come into the stadium. We can't, because we don't know what way things are going to go. There's a lot of other factors, and vaccination percentages aren't where we'd like them yet, based on availability and whatever. Yeah. So he decided, right, okay, that's fine. We'll just move it. We'll move it to some other country where not that they have the situation under control. We move it to some country where they don't give a fuck, basically, and that's the part that's got up my nose. I'm not sure exactly the situation with the Super Cup, but I have a feeling that once the Dublin said no, that they pulled the plug on everything else. It doesn't really matter, financially to the Irish government or to football in Ireland, but it would be nice to be treated equally, I suppose, and for a guy who claims football is about the people and he's about the people that you don't give a shit about, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He said the guy's a liar. The guy's just a grade A fool, in my opinion. As I say, and although he can say what he wants with his stupid comments, as Rob says, the guy's pretty childish. It's actually unbelievable a guy of that stature with that responsibility could actually come across such of an idiot at times. But I think when he's alone at home, he will be shitting himself that he's got the likes of Barcelona, Juventus and Real Madrid, who are serious clubs, not happy with him. So he can say what he wants, but I don't think those clubs are going to back down. It's got to this point, so I think they're going to see it out. Someone's going to be a sore winner. Loser, sorry.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to back down. I hope. I mean, they would have been very, very silly to go into this without having a plan B, and I think they do have a plan B. Stephen is coming in here. He's saying the overwhelming problem with UEFA is they don't answer to anyone. Absolutely, they make up their own rules. It's the same with all football associations, really. You've got people on the boards there that you've never even heard of them. You would have no idea who they are, what they've done in their career. They may not have anything to do with football at all. May not have even watched a game of football before. And these are the people running football. It's scary stuff, and they're all pocketing huge money. But he's also saying, in my question in the Irish TDs, so the Irish politicians, I will, but I'll keep that for another conversation. So, yeah, I mean, what else did I want to get into? Signings for the future. So, we've ruled Donnarumma out now. Locatelli, there was news today about him. I think it was Romeo Agresti said that Allegri has given the green light for the transfer. He's given his endorsement. A bid is, I think his words were, a bid is on the launch pad, so it's coming soon. And I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think he's the answer to all our problems?
No. Sorry. I mean, I think he's a class act. As I say, and I do hope he comes to us, but I don't think he's going to solve all the problems. I think we need two midfielders, a centre half, because I think Demiral maybe moved on to balance the books out and we need a left back, as I say. But the thing that annoys me for Locatelli, it's almost like the Delict saga again. How long have they wanted the guy? Go and do it. If you want him that bad, go and sign him. You know what's involved. It's 40 million. Go and get him. Now we risk going to Euros. He has it. I'd say Jorginho gets injured in the first game and Locatelli plays the full tournament. His value goes up and up and up. PSG.
That's my question. Fucked, Antonio. I was going to ask you that question in about 5 minutes' time when we get on to speak about Italy. I was going to say, what's his bloody chance of playing? And now you've it fucked. So yeah, go on ahead.
Sorry, buddy. But yeah, as I say, I'm frustrated that it's taken so long. To be honest with you, so I just hope that the club's they've got an idea of what they're wanting to do, and it's not this mad scramble we see every year with just signing players for the sake of signing them. I think Locatelli's he is part of the solution, but he's not the answer. No, not himself anyway.
No, I was kind of laughing there. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, so I agree. So there's two things I want to touch on. First of all, I understand that they want to see where they are with the players that they're going to be getting rid of and balancing the books, etc., etc. But if it's a case that he's an option, and that's why it's taken so long, while they're trying to get their cards in order and trying to decipher whether he's somebody that they actually want. But if it is that they've always wanted, just go and get him.
Yeah,
you know the price. Just go and get him. Like some of the other teams do. Like Liverpool always go out and get an early signing, don't they? Just go and get him.
Mm-hmm.
You know
exactly.
I know you're gonna struggle in COVID to get rid of certain players, and it's going to be difficult to shift. Ramsey's and the Bernadeschi's of this world, but just go and get him.
Yeah,
and then just see where you are then. I mean, I agree. He is he an improvement on what we have in the midfield? Yes. Is he going to be the second coming of Jesus and propel us to new heights? No. Yeah. We're not signing Prime Andrea Pirlo. We're signing, though, a player that is going to be with a lot of potential, with a high ceiling, who is very, very good in possession, strong, positionally very, very good as well, very disciplined and mature. So he's better than what we have.
Yes.
Of course, if we think we're going to sign him and suddenly walk the Scudetto, no. But he's certainly somewhere, and he's a start, and just go and get him.
Yeah,
40 million, even in COVID times.
Yeah.
I mean, just following the story, about a week ago, Carnevali spoke, and he said that, what did he say? He said, they're going to do the best for the player. He's going to have a good European Championships, and we'll find a place for him afterwards. And I was just reading it, thinking, you're going to do the best for the player, all right. You're going to do the best for your back pocket,
Of course.
But he, as you said, if he plays and Italy do well, his price is going to go up. He's going to be in the shop window, because guess what, guys? I mean, we watch Serie A week in, week out, but the other teams don't. They don't necessarily see a guy like him playing for Sassuolo. So we're all aware of him, and I'm sure some of the big clubs are, but not all of them. And if he has a good championship, his price will go up 100%.
Yeah. I mean, I think Fernandinho's leaving Manchester City this summer, or if not, he's certainly a little bit older. I mean, I know they've got Rodri in that position, but they could look at him. There's plenty of teams that would fancy him this summer.
Yeah.
So,
sorry, as Rob said, I mean, COVID aside, ballots and books aside, €40 million for Juventus should be doable. Make a mark, put your foot down, and go and get the fucking guy. Pardon my French, but with Locatelli coming in early, it gives you a time to get a good pre-season under your belt and give the manager an idea of what his team's going to be about. Our midfielder has been our sole problem since 2015. It's never properly been addressed, and now with Allegri having that Alex Ferguson role that's been reported, you're hoping that these things can get done quick, and it shows the fans and it gives the fans obviously. It puts their minds at ease more than anything. Another name that I think we should be looking at is Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid. I mean, very doable. Bentancur going one way, who I think Simeone thinks highly of him. I think they're also a very good suit for each other, Atletico style and Bentancur. And again, it's as Rob said, it's an upgrade in what we've got already, and it's not going to burst the bank. So what's the hold up? What's this hesitance? Just waiting for other teams to come and take them right away from us, So
I don't know if Juve have the money situation straightened out yet. That's the only thing I can think of, because I know for Locatelli, the demand has been straight cash, no players in exchange, no bullshit like that. And like we've seen with the Chiesa deal, that they did a loan, and the fee can go up and up and up depending on, for instance, if we hadn't have qualified for the Champions League, it would have been 10 million less. So a lot of those kind of deals, that stuff. But it's very hard for Juventus to deal with other clubs in Serie A. I mentioned Vlahovic earlier on. I'm trying to deal with Fiorentina, a club that hates us. Anyone in Rome is, any of the clubs in Rome are probably the same. We'd find it difficult to get anyone from Napoli, but it just doesn't exist for other clubs around the world. You look at Bayern Munich can buy anyone. anyone in Germany.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
I would agree.
there's always a couple of things, and when Juve come calling, it's a case of, it's Juve, you've got to pay. They've got to pay top dollar. We saw Robin Gosens, I think, being offered. I can't remember. It was an English club. I can't remember, but it was something like 25 million. And then when Juve inquired, it was another fee altogether, something like 35 to 40. Do you know? And that's that's what you're dealing with. Like, so, it's sad because we don't have the patience for it. We want just players announced now. We've had a manager, we want him in place. We want him on the phone, money in hand, sort that out now. But look, technically, we haven't even had a CEO announced. I think, is Allegri officially announced yet? No, I don't think he is.
Who?
He is? Is Allegri officially announced? Like, has he officially taken charge yet?
He hasn't had his press conference yet, has he?
Yeah, he's not at press conference. Yeah.
So a lot of things are kind of delayed a little bit. Riva Bene has come in. He hasn't been officially announced, but we know he's there. So what else would you say? Like, do you have any other players you're kind of looking at that you really would fancy for Juve?
Go,
you go, Rob. No, you go. You take this one, buddy. You go.
More positionally, if I was to look at the squad as it would be, rather than looking at individual personnel per se, would be to keep the focus on bringing in young players like we have done, and identify the players which are surplus to requirements, are going to be difficult to shift, but are absolutely zero utility to the squad. So if we look at it, the likes of Bernardeschi, as much as I don't want to see him pull on the Italian shirt, it'd be really nice if he did for a few minutes and scored a lovely goal and we could offer him in part exchange with somebody. I don't think the goal against San Marino is going to be enough, funnily enough. But despite the fact that he gave quite a big interview,
a flowery interview afterwards.
Ramsey as well. People saying there's no market for Ramsey. There's always a market for British players in Britain. I mean, he will find a club. The wages are difficult. We're going to have to suck up some of that, of course. I mean, we're not going to get someone to pay him $400,000 a week, but if we can get some of those wages off of the book, that would be massively, helpful. And we need a number 9 to supplement Morata. So I think we've mentioned Vlahovic and Icardi. Neither of them are like for likes for Ronaldo, but we're not going to get a player that plays in Ronaldo's position to bring in that return. So
we don't want one,
and we don't want one. I mean, if we could bring, if we were, I don't want to talk about systems too much, but if we were playing, because you never know with Allegri anyway, you never know what he's going to play. But if you were assuming that Kulusevski and Chiesa and Dybala, that it was going to be 2 from those 3 to supplement a striker, then maybe we need another attacking winger or playmaker and another striker. And then you've got the defence. Alexandro, is he finished?
Oh God.
I think he's finished.
But can we replace all of these players?
No.
This window. So where is the major surgery, and where can we sort of wait to go and see the doctors? That's a terrible analogy. Leave me to. I'll think of that analogy. You go ahead.
No, well, Rob's thinking his analogy. I think obviously the Donnarumma thing's a great example of spending needless energy on a position that doesn't need addressed. Rob's touched on it. There's a lot of dead wood, and there has been for quite some time. If we've not moved it until now in a COVID market, we're not going to move it all in one kind of go. But we need to look at the most major areas. One is left back. We need at least 2, as Rob said, regardless of systems, we need at least 2 world-class midfielders. And regardless how you get them, whether it's swap deals, loans, I'm not interested. We need upgrades. We spoke about Saul. We spoke about Locatelli, Milinkovic-Savic, Pogba with Ronaldo. I don't see that happening. All these names are all upgrades. Rodrigo de Paul. Everything's an upgrade, but it's one thing talking about him, it's another thing managing to bring these players in. The biggest position for me is the number 9 role. Now, just today, I seen Edin Dzeko's name mentioned again, and I rolled my eyes. After about 10 minutes of kind of cursing and swearing and thinking we're going back the way, I then put myself into Allegri's shoes, thinking, well, he's always had that physical presence, number 9 up front. We seriously lacked that last season. Morata can give you that, but he's not that kind of player. So if we've got somebody like Morata and Dzeko who can alternate between games, then it frees up a position maybe for a top name to say. But there's a hell of a lot of work to do. For me, in my opinion, the guys going out the club is going to be the biggest challenge rather than the guys coming in.
Yeah. To get him out. I mean, you're saying there's always a market in Britain for British players. You know, Ramsey, but you know, Ramsey spoke, I think, from the Welsh camp, and he said that he's coming back. I don't want him to come back.
You know that. These. I'm coming back to Italy. My wife's a chef and she loves Turin and blah 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 blah. Yeah, but you know we're not here to support a chef. So eventually, you know, I think he has to say that. He's obviously under contract to Juventus. I'm pretty certain that he has been probably told that, you know, that we're going to try and move you on. He doesn't play. I mean, I think he peaked this season against Sampdoria in the opening game, and then after that, he was awful, absolutely awful. Positionally, he's good. He's very good, but he doesn't offer enough, and he's just always injured.
Yeah,
we cannot rely on him, and that was probably, if we're going to be critical of Paratici or anything, that was probably the worst one, I think, in terms of 400,000 a week. Yeah,
I would agree. I think the game at Barcelona, the first game in the second game in Nou Camp, I thought he did a really good game, but we can count in one hand the amount of good games he's had. So those wages, to justify those wages, to be able to count how many good games he's had in one hand, it's not enough.
No.
I mean, my heart bleeds every time I see the number 8 on his jersey, because that number 8 was Claudio Marchisio, and that's one of my top 5 all-time favourites. So the certain numbers in Juventus that hold a certain privilege, number 8, number 9, number 10, and some players
21.
just don't do it. Yes, number 1. How could I
21.
forget? Or 21, so yes,
21.
And number 1, as I say, but Buffon picked 77 this season. But Rob was on the money. It's a handful of games out of so many. The guy can't stay healthy. We knew that before he came. Arsenal, I mean, he was injured. He's got problems to stay competitively fit at that level. But his goals, I remember when he played with Arsenal, his finishing was phenomenal. Sometimes it looks as if he can't even generate enough power to kick a shot on goal. You know, he looks as if his body's weak and it's given up, and I just don't want to be stuck with another Sami Khedira. And I hope Rob's right, and he does have that market in the UK, and we can move him on.
I'm just looking at Twitter here, and Mirko Di Natale has made a statement about Dybala. He says Dybala wants to stay at Juventus, and Juventus want to extend his contract.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that? You think it should be done? It should have been done yesterday, but it sounds of it, Antonio.
I think Dybala. I mean, I'll always protect the players, because I think Dybala, he's had a hard time of it this season with injuries, COVID, new system. I won't make excuses for him, because he has let himself down in some games. But I think there was a project around Dybala when he came in. It was the hottest property in the Italian market, possibly in European market. So it's only right that the club back him, and I'm glad to see the contract hopefully getting ironed out and he gets what he wants, and we can move on from this.
Yeah. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, in terms of when in those last few games, it just his ability to drop between the lines, just that, you know, he can start in that advanced position, but just how he linked the play. It was what was missing. Not the only thing. It was one of the principal things that was missing from Pirlo's sort of, philosophy of how he wanted to play. He was the only one that can link the play. Everyone else is a runner. He's the only one that wants to put his foot on the ball, and just slow the tempo down. And just such a good player. I don't buy into there's only, one position he can play.
No.
He's got a very specific role. He is a number 10.
Yes.
He plays close to the striker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's, people say he can't play in a 4-3-3. Well, it depends how you play the 4-3-3.
Exactly.
It does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He can't play a 4-3-3 like Salah at Liverpool. He can't do that.
Yeah.
But when he's in that attacking position, just dropping off of the striker, linking the play, he's the only one we've got. And the options are you extend him or you go and get another one, and we extend. And he deserves, as I said, he's got enough credit in the bank.
Yeah. Just to touch on what Rob said, just to piggyback off of that, Dybala is at best when he's playing with a number 9, like Morata, like Icardi,
Mandzukic, Higuain,
and he's also better. It's not a surprise that the best games we've seen him play this season is when Ronaldo's not been there, and it might be psychologically or it might be tactically. I think it's a bit of both. I think Dybala is one of those kind of players that needs the arm around the shoulder. He needs it to be about him. And you get a different player. Let's not forget, when Dybala's fit and he's on form, in my opinion, he's second to none. He can do it against anyone. But as Rob says, his best positions in the whole, possibly in a 4-2-3-1 formation, when he's on the half turn and he can just have that free roll. But as Rob also said, the interpretation of a formation can be different in many ways. As I say, he can play anywhere in the pitch. He can play in the right hand side in a 4-3-3. But obviously with a different interpretation of how a 4-3-3 might be played at Liverpool or Bayern Munich, as I say. But the team needs to be moulded round about him, and I'm hoping with Allegri coming in for the second time that this can finally be done.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. In particular, I think that's a brilliant point. Like, I mean, how do you interpret a 4-3-3? I mean, your wide men and wide attackers don't have to be stuck out on the touchline. Like, you can have one guy that's stuck out on the touchline, and you can, the other guy on the other side can be closer in towards the middle striker, and you can cover that right wing with a fullback. I mean, we have Juan Cuadrado, one of the best in the business, so it's like, and a 4-2-3-1 also works. If you have a 4-3-1-2, that works. I mean, he should be signed. We need to get that wrapped up pretty quick. What else is I going to say? Mr. T is here, guys. A very important guy. Mr. T. Evening, guys. How much of a failure in the eyes of the football world is the Donnarumma failure? Second time PSG make us look like fools. First one was Verratti.
No.
If Jeff Bezos outbids me on eBay, then I'm not a fool. I mean, it's just, this is it.
A team that spend hundreds of millions getting beat to a league by Rennes. Lille can't make Juventus look like fools. I promise you that.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Two good points. They've got more money than us, simple as. We cannot get into a bidding war for any player this year. We can't afford the price to go up at all. That's why, if we don't get, that's why we have to get the deals done quick. If we let the deals go till after the Euros, we're screwed, depending on how players do. But, I mean, it's been a great show, guys. I'm very grateful for both of you to come on.
Thank you for having us.
Just, you guys are going to be part of the crew here, and I'm looking forward to having both of you on next time as well. And just to let everybody know, to make sure you give a sub, give a like, comment on anything we've said, share it. Also, we're on Spotify. This was going to be uploaded to Spotify afterwards. If you like to listen to your podcasts, and Yeah, so we should have another one Thursday night. A couple of other guests. We're looking to do maybe 2 pods a week, kind of a thing, and maybe even some updates on the European Championships. We'll see. Maybe a drink along, watch along with.
That's it. An Englishman, an Irishman, a Scotsman. I'm pretty sure I heard a joke about that somewhere.
Who knows? It could be fun. We'll see. So anyway, with that, guys, I'm going to say ciao ragazzi, and see you all next time.
See you all next time.